On behalf of the Cabangan family and the ALC Media Group, we give thanks to the Lord for allowing us to continue the story started 30 years ago by my father, the late Ambassador and Chairman Emeritus of the ALC Group of Companies, Antonio L. Cabangon Chua. It is the story of how a small magazine got built on the strength of an incomparable friendship between a man of business and a man of words. This is the story of how they both cherished literature and vowed to nurture excellent literary works in the pages of the magazine. Through the best of times and the worst of times, we continue this story. This is the story of the Philippines Graphic.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and welcome to Business Mirror's Freshly Brewed, a spin off of Coffee Club. Freshly Brewed features the latest business trends. If we find something interesting, we might even dabble into lifestyle and even entertainment trends. For this special edition of Freshly Brewed, our guest is the principal of St. Edward's School, which is located in Lancaster New City, Alapan, Imus, Cavite. The COVID 19 pandemic brought much disruption to the education system. What sort of challenges did the St. Edward's School face during the pandemic? And what lessons did it teach you about learning and teaching? Dr. John T. Cabalo, Principal of St. Edward's School, will share his experiences and insights. Dr. John, welcome to Freshly Brewed. What sort of challenges did St. Edward face Ba't dalawa yung ako? Ba't dalawa ako? There, okay. Sorry, and we're back. Here to talk about the school's experiences and how it is celebrating its 10th anniversary this week is Dr. John T. Cabalo, St. Edward School's principal. Good morning, Dr. John, and welcome to Freshly Brewed.
Hi, Ma'am Ruth. Good morning, and thank you for giving us time in your program, Freshly Brewed. We are so happy that our school got to be invited in your program.
Okay, thank you so much too for agreeing to join us. Before we start talking about St. Edward, can you tell us something about yourself?
Oh, wow. Uh, Good morning. What a way to begin our program, Ma'am Ruth. Well, I'm John. I'm John Cabalo, and I'm a teacher for 30 years now. And
Wow. Okay.
and the last 10 years of my working experience with the education is with currently with St. Edward's School.
Okay.
I I am from Bacolod, and particularly I came from the University of St. LaSalle. No, I
Mm,
used to be the college dean of the College of Education.
okay.
I've been assigned to do so many tasks from a grade school teacher to high school teacher to college and a graduate school teacher and
Uh-huh.
even club moderator. I
Okay.
used to do a lot, department chair. But my last
Mm,
assignment with the Lasallian community was I was the supervisor of the LaSalle supervised schools in the Visayas. As
okay.
supervisor, I used to visit 12 schools,
Mm-hmm.
helping these supervised schools in terms of school operations,
Okay.
curriculum development, faculty
Mm-hmm.
training, student development, and even facilities management. No?
Okay.
And I bring all these things to
Mm.
our beloved school, St. Edward's School now, and good enough, I was able to join the community of our school here in Cavite.
Okay. So, in other words, Dr. John, you've been with the school since its very beginning. Tama po ba?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly, exactly.
Okay. So, can you tell us how it was like starting a school in a new community? I understand.
It was so promising,
Uh-huh.
coming from a more established university such as University of Saint LaSalle. I left LaSalle when it was celebrating 65 years
Mm-hmm.
of its establishment, and I joined St. Edward's School in 2012. It was our launching year,
Mm-hmm.
whereby there's a lot of promises, for this school, especially that it was intended for our community here in Lancaster New City. Lancaster New City is a fast-growing community whereby the school is at the heart of it. No, it
Mm-hmm.
is a complete lifestyle community whereby you have the church, you have the families, business establishments,
Mm-hmm.
and the most important feature of this community here in Lancaster New City is the school. And I I always take note of what the beginnings of the school is, and that
Mm-hmm.
is it is a part, always an integral component of our community.
Okay. And then I understand you have two campuses in Lancaster.
Exactly.
Is that right? Yep.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. We have two campuses. No, by the way, St. Edward's School offers from preschool to senior high school, and
Mhm.
we have two campuses. One
Okay.
campus is in Imus campus. It
Mm-hmm.
houses our preschool to junior high school or grade 10 students. And another
Okay.
campus is the Faith campus, also within Lancaster New City, which houses our senior high school program. Ah, hello, Ma'am Ruth, are you there?
Yeah, I'm back. So we're having problems with our connection this morning. Okay, so I understand, Doc John, like all schools, you faced a lot of challenges during the COVID-19 pandemic. Can you tell us what
Exactly.
sort of challenges these were and how you overcame them?
Exactly. Well, truly, it was a very challenging period for the school, and not just for St. Edward, I guess, Ma'am Ruth. It's even to
Yep.
all schools, both public and private. As we all
Mm-hmm.
know, the private schools greatly suffered from its enrollment. There was an average of 45% drop of its enrollment. On a
Mm-hmm.
national average. And St. Edward is no excuse to that. No,
Mm-hmm.
we were able to experience a dip of our enrollment population at the start of the
Mm-hmm.
pandemic. Truly, it was so challenging because schools have to rethink, have to recraft everything what
Mm-hmm.
is planned, and for the learning to continue for our students. So we have to take important decisions, as a school, how curriculum shall be uh, introduced again to our students via online modality, which is so different from its traditional classroom instruction before. We have to retrain our teachers. We have to retool them
Mm-hmm.
and reskill them because the classroom now was shifted to digital space and not anymore in the classroom. We have to think of ways in which we have to keep our teachers because of the drop in enrollment as well. And all of these things, the facilities, the logistics, the important technology that we have to subscribe for learning to continue for our students. And surely, not only the school was able to be confronted with challenges, even our parents. And we always commend, in all of our conversations, we always commend the efforts of our parents who equally confronted such challenges as well at the start of this pandemic. Hello, Ma'am Ruth. Hello, are you there?
Are we back? Hi, sorry, Doc John. Ay, of all days to happen, it has to happen today. Sorry, Doc John. Can we go back na? Okay, sige. Doc John, sorry. Can we go back to where we left off about the challenges you faced during the pandemic? You're nakamute po yata kayo, Doc.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well, it was so challenging for schools, ma'am. No,
Mm-hmm.
the the shift to online learning was practically like starting the school again
Uh-huh.
entirely. No, from curriculum development to teacher training to operating the school
Mm-hmm.
on digital space. So that's what I think we greatly faced during that time,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to prepare everything for our school. We have to make important decisions
Mm-hmm.
in terms of school operations, from shifting to traditional classroom setup to digital space. So
Okay.
uh, we have to be we have to quickly decide on
Uh-huh.
certain things in terms of operating the school to
Mm-hmm.
ensure that learning continues for our children.
Okay. Were you able to find an on supplier immediately for your online requirements?
Thankfully, yes, ma'am. We were able to uh, have a partnership with a company to provide the learning management system for our students in
Mm-hmm.
just a very short period of time, because that was, I think, March to April, that we have to train our teachers in terms of the new learning management system to
Okay.
make sure that in time for the opening of school in August,
Mm-hmm.
everyone is skilled, everyone knows how to deliver the lessons
Mm-hmm.
online. So lesson plans have to be recrafted, no,
Yeah.
on how it can be planned so
Okay.
that learning experiences of our students continue
Mm-hmm.
even at the comforts of their home.
Okay.
So exactly, we were able to had a partnership with a technology provider for
Mm-hmm.
our learning management system.
Okay. And how was the feedback from the parents and the students with your decision to go online?
I must be very proud in saying that our parents was satisfied on how we were able to deliver our online distance learning modality.
Mm-hmm.
Why we can proudly say this? Because we were in constant communication with our parents
Okay.
through feedbacking. Uh, we conducted the survey in the middle of the year on how we as a school
Okay.
is able to deliver
Mm-hmm.
uh, the online learning to their children.
Mm-hmm.
And good enough, Ma'am Ruth, parents really appreciated it on how we're able to deliver the
Mm-hmm.
online learning. No, we have positive responses in terms of how lessons are delivered, how instructional supervision is being conducted to our teachers, as well
Mm-hmm.
as the response of our uh, pupils, no, and our
Okay.
students, especially the younger ones, no,
Mm-hmm.
ensure that indeed we did the right thing in terms of shifting to online learning. Definitely, there were some items that our students really felt missing, and that
Mm-hmm.
is their interaction with their classmates.
Of course, yeah.
That was really pronounced.
Mm-hmm.
Their interaction with their teachers, because it
Okay.
was so different if they're
Mm-hmm.
really in school, no.
Mm-hmm.
So the emotional aspect, the socialization aspect of
Mm-hmm.
learning is greatly missed by our pupils and our
Uh-huh.
students.
Okay. So now that we're already 2 years in the pandemic, and now preparations are underway to no for the start of face to face classes. So are you expecting to have face to face classes this year or the new school year na po?
For sure, there is going to be a new twist in terms
Mm-hmm.
of learning again after
Mm-hmm.
2 years of pandemic. No? Well, we can always cherish our learnings, our successes during the online distance learning. And
Mm-hmm.
moving on to our new school year, this coming school year 22-2023, we are just uh, prepared, no, to continue what was the gains and successes of online learning
Mm-hmm.
into the new modality of this coming school year.
Uh-huh.
We have heard so much about limited face-to-face classes
Yes,
that
yes.
will happen next year.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, that will be our modality for next year. There is going to be a uh, hybrid and flexible learning modality planned for our learners, and that
Okay.
means it's a combination of online distance learning and on-site instruction. On-site
Mm-hmm.
meaning students really have to come to school. No,
Mm-hmm.
we've been preparing for this for quite some time now. In fact, prior to prior to the end of this school year, where the Department of Education has released a very thorough guidelines for all schools, both public and private, to prepare for the online modality next year. In our case, we've been thinking about it already, no, on our own, and surely we have planned for our learners in terms of resuming back to limited face-to-face instruction.
Mm-hmm.
We are guided by Definitely, we are guided by the regulations of the Department of Education. They
Mm-hmm.
have released a joint memorandum together with the Department of Health.
Okay.
That's what they call as the School Safety Assessment Tool. All
Mm-hmm.
schools are guided by this, whereby we are given indicators for us to prepare so
Mm-hmm.
that we will be safe return to school for our learners, and we are guided
Mm-hmm.
by that. No? Overall, we've been doing this for a few months already to make
Okay.
sure that our learners are really safe to come to
Mm-hmm.
school. No? The facilities are in place.
Mm-hmm.
It's somehow quite different for us to implement this. No, the facilities and everything that will ensure safety for our learners next year.
Okay. Doc John, going back to the pandemic, what sort of learnings did you get from the experience of having empty classrooms, the teachers having to prepare their classes really ahead of time? Yeah, what sort of learnings?
There are so many learning points, not just for us in school, but even at home, our parents.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, siguro siguro i-proclaim ko talaga yung learning sa bahay ng mga
Mhm.
bata, no?
Mhm.
Na dati, ma'am, 'di ba, kung minsan parents would simply come to school and then ask us teachers, how do you teach this particular lesson? How is
Mhm.
this being done in terms of doing this instruction or lesson in school?
Mhm.
Because definitely, parents are not in the classroom
Yeah.
before, no? But one great lesson, I guess, during this online learning is that parents became students as well. They were not just became students, but even they became really teachers at home, especially for the younger grades. So
Mhm.
the most important lesson, I think, in terms of online learning for the families and
Mhm.
our parents is that they get to appreciate really how learning works and how learning happens in the classroom. They
Mhm.
get to they were able to listen to the teachers, how teachers dispense their
Mhm.
lesson, how teachers are able to deliver the lessons.
Mhm.
Surely, they felt how difficult it is for to become a teacher, and
Mhm.
so therefore they became also a parent, no, during this period. So I guess that's one thing that I would like to highlight.
Mhm.
One great lesson in terms of parenting and even sa family, no. Another is the relationships within the
Mhm.
family became so sincere, became more felt. No, it's more felt within the family at the comforts of their home.
Mhm.
Uh, Parents were able to really see how the child struggled. The
Mhm.
parents were able to see the successes of their children. No,
Mhm.
coming into the new school year without any knowledge on how to write letter A, letter B, letter C.
Mhm.
But during the course of this pandemic, no, I was able to talk to a parent na, Dr. John, I can't imagine, that at the start of the school year, he
Mhm.
was questioning, he was having some questions whether the child would be able to write or to know
Mhm.
how to write the first few letters, no,
Mhm.
because it's practically online. But in the middle of the school year, this same parent came to me and said, "I can't just imagine how teachers were able to do the magic because my child was able to really write, was able
Mhm.
to recite a poem, and was able to sing and dance even at the comforts of their house, no, without the physical presence of the teachers." So I
Mhm.
think those are great experiences that we can just bank on
Mhm.
our successes during the
Mhm.
online learning.
Okay, so I understand you'll be celebrating your 10th anniversary this week, and what sort of preparations, or how are you going to celebrate your 10th year?
Yes, Ma'am Ruth, thank you for noting that. No, we came fresh from our kickoff program last
Mm-hmm.
Saturday over the weekend. We were blessed with a good weather because of the impending typhoon
Yeah.
coming. Uh, we were able to celebrate as a kickoff program in
Mm-hmm.
celebrating our 10th year anniversary, no, last Saturday. And there's a year-long program and
Mm-hmm.
activities lined up for the year. No,
Mm-hmm.
we shall have uh, commemorative tree planting, family day, which we have been doing during the past years. No,
Mm-hmm.
and we hope to come together again as one big family.
Uh-huh.
It's always the most sought after event in school,
Mm-hmm.
the family day, the Project Tahanan Family Day. We will be able to conduct our first alumni homecoming after
Mm-hmm.
10 years. No, we have already alumni who are graduates or already professionals.
Oh,
We
okay.
will be conducting the first alumni homecoming and even Balik Edward
Mm-hmm.
activity for our former employees, no, who are in different fields already.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of community engagement activities, Ma'am Ruth.
Mm-hmm.
Our school is very strong in terms of community engagement.
Mm-hmm.
That's one unique feature of the school. No,
Yeah.
I was asked last Saturday by one child, what makes Saint Edward so unique? And
Yeah.
my quick answer was the school's community engagement. So ang sabi ko sa bata na if you want the school, if you want to go to a school whereby you would want to serve the community, then come to Saint Edward because that's one area that we are so strong in terms of integrating what's happening in the school, integrating it with the community. So
Mm-hmm.
that's really a part of our 10 years of celebration, not
Mm-hmm.
just as a school among us in the school community, but always it is anchored on a lot of community engagements and activities.
Okay. When we met last week, you were telling me about the 10 things about the 10 things we should know about St. Edward. Can you share that with us?
Yeah, exactly. Because we were also asking ourselves, since we are
Uh-huh.
celebrating 10 years, so what can we be so proud about our school, on
Mm-hmm.
its 10th year? Number one, I think, Ma'am Ruth, is academic excellence.
Mm-hmm.
Surely, this is a promise that always we're keeping to our students and our parents. So that's academic excellence. Campus journalism, number two.
Mm-hmm.
You you can't parang dissociate campus journalism from St. Edward School. This is one area that we are really so strong. We've
Uh-huh.
been getting awards most often in terms of this area, and this is one thing that we are so proud of our students. No,
Mm-hmm.
our achievers always would have. What you call this great appreciation in terms of campus
Mm-hmm.
journalism. No, by the way, we were the winner of Catholic Mass Media Awards in terms of school
Oh.
publications this year. No?
Mm-hmm.
So that's an achievement, in fact. Third is, as I have mentioned, 10 things to know about St. Edward's School. That's community engagement because it's inscribed in our mission vision statement.
Mm-hmm.
We always have a direct link to our community. We're
Mm-hmm.
good in sports, so to speak, although
Uh-huh.
there was a period of pause for the past 2 years. But
Mm-hmm.
prior to the pandemic, we're very strong in terms
Uh-huh.
of sports, especially in the cities of Imus and General Trias. We
Okay.
are a PAASCO candidate school. This is one great achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Being a PAASCO candidate school, our parents, our learners are assured of a well-run school and
Mm-hmm.
that they're able to meet the standards of quality education. That's
Mm-hmm.
PAASCO. Another is the Edwardian Edge. This is
Okay.
so unique for us as well. No, the Edwardian Edge was our online distance learning. No,
Okay.
it's a shift to the digital classroom
Uh-huh.
after being hit by the pandemic.
Okay.
The last four items that we can be so proud would be our solid and highly committed teachers. We always bank on our teachers and support
Mm-hmm.
staff. No, we we won't be able to deliver this without the highly committed and dedicated faculty and staff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Our alumni are also something that we consider as our trophies.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
If you come to Lancaster New City, our youth leaders are oftentimes Edwardians coming from our school, and that's what I think we are so proud. That while they were in school, we were able to give them a lot of opportunities to take on
Mm-hmm.
leadership,
Mm-hmm.
and not just leadership in school, but
Mm-hmm.
leadership in the community. So they are really our trophies that they
Okay.
get to engage to a lot of community engagements by
Mm-hmm.
being leaders in the community. So I guess, Ma'am Ruth, I have said a lot about our school, and well, we are always blessed to
Okay.
have these things about Saint Edward's School.
Okay. I see one question here asking, yeah, from Bonifacio Republic. Have you already started face-to-face classes?
We are due for depth ed validation visit
Mm-hmm.
2 weeks from now. No, that's a ticket. That's the ticket towards face-to-face classes. We will be visited by the Department of Education for its validation in terms of our preparation for the limited face-to-face classes. We intend to have a pilot run of our limited face-to-face classes in three grade levels, and these are grade 6, grade 10, and the senior high school that will start May 2. So that's the initial number, the initial grade levels that we will be implementing the limited face-to-face. And definitely from this, we will be most ready in terms of the conduct of limited face-to-face, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, hybrid modality, the hybrid and high flex modality coming school year 22-23 in all grade levels from preschool to senior high school already.
Okay. Can we expect an increase in your tuition this coming school year? I think that's all the concern of all parents.
There will be parents consultation regarding this, and surely parents would understand that there will be some changes in the school fees because
Mhm.
when we shifted to online learning, we also adjusted our fees, such as for example, before there's no laboratory fee because definitely students don't come to school to conduct
Mhm, mhm,
laboratory. All these things will be presented to our parents. There will be
mhm,
changes in our fees because of the change in the modality as well. No,
mhm,
we will have a series of consultation with
mhm.
parents as to the changes in our school fees and other program fees that will be presented to them.
Okay, here's another question here from Edwin Salyan. What are your long-term post-pandemic plans?
That's a very good question, Sir Edwin, and thank you for asking that. And in terms of long-term post-pandemic plans, I guess what I can really highlight is that we can't go away from online learning anymore, sir. No, because of the VUCA world that we are in. VUCA means volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous situations. Most oftentimes, we can't go away from online learning anymore. So that I think is going to stay and
Mhm.
as going to be part of our learning modality uh, in the post-pandemic period.
Okay, ano pa ba? Um, how ab- how about any new? How about the facilities, sir? Any new facilities coming up?
Oh,
Coming,
uh,
yeah.
thank you for that. Because of the new shift to new online modality, we have to adjust, and we
Mhm,
have to prepare for a lot of changes in terms of facilities, especially the classroom size,
mhm.
because DepEd has specific guidelines in terms of classroom size. So we are quite ready in terms of this, and in fact, we've been preparing for this for our initial
Okay.
conduct of limited face-to-face. For sure, we are not keeping still in terms of
Mhm.
improving and developing our school.
Okay.
In a few years' time, we will be having a new campus also within Lancaster New
Oh,
City, in
okay.
addition to the two campuses that we have at the moment. Uh,
Mhm.
that's in the pipeline of our development plans in the coming few years already. So that's to really prepare for the growth in
Mm-hmm.
the community as well.
Mm,
As I
okay.
have said and as I have mentioned at the beginning, Lancaster New City is really a fast-growing community.
Mm-hmm.
We have thousands and thousands of families moving in, coming into
Mm-hmm.
the community, and definitely the school has to prepare as well for its growth.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we are preparing as early as now.
Okay, here's another question from Maricel Valdez Davat. How are you going to deal with unvaccinated students?
There's a guideline in that regard, ma'am, in terms of our preparations for online learning. Definitely, it's always parents' choice, no, in terms of uh, getting vaccinated. There are guidelines also from the Department of Health in terms of parents' decision in terms of getting their children vaccinated. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we will be presenting this as well to you during our parents' consultation regarding the vaccination status of our children.
Okay, how about the teachers? Are all your teachers vaccinated as well?
Yes, ma'am. We are 100% fully vaccinated. Again, that's one important indicator in the ESSA tool of the Department of Education and the Department of Health that all
Mm-hmm.
teaching personnel, both teaching and non-teaching personnel, have to be fully vaccinated. So we are 100% fully vaccinated.
Okay, sige. I don't see any more questions here. Just a few shout outs here. See, Ed has been flashing yung mga shout outs natin dyan. We have the audience from Imus. There's one here from Imus eh. So marami po sila. And to end our show, can you, yan, here's another question. Kapapasok lang. Also from Maricel. In the face of the pandemic, what are you doing to make the education delivery system more inclusive and equitable?
Uh, in that's a wonderful question, Mrs. Davan. No, definitely inclusive and more equitable can be addressed through our new hybrid and flexible online modality. So that's uh, that's I think one thing that we can address really in terms of that question, whereby both our students
Mm-hmm.
can be able to continue learning in terms of online modality and
Mm-hmm.
even off-site, no, uh,
Mm-hmm.
rather on-site learning, face-to-face. No, we'll be able to prepare them well in terms of learning uh, processes because of
Mm-hmm.
our combination of online learning and on-site modality.
Okay. How big are your classes, Doc John? How many students are they in one class?
Are you asking for the incoming school year, ma'am, or
Uh,
used to
yeah,
be?
incoming school, di
Oh,
ba all
in
of
the
them have to be in the class or hindi pwede?
yes, yes. Okay. So the again the ESSA tool uh, prescribes that for the preschool and grade one, there's a maximum of 12 students in a class. No?
Ah, okay.
And for the rest of the grade levels, that will be 20
Ah,
students in the
21.
class. So
Okay.
that was a reduced number of learners in the classroom, no, because of
Okay.
the social distancing regulations that the Department of Education and Department of Health is intending. So we see that there's a shift
Mm-hmm,
of
mm-hmm.
learners, no, to maintain that class size.
Okay.
There's going to be a shift from the whole whole day scheduling. There's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a shift from morning session and afternoon session because in terms of the number of hours to be spent in the classroom, there's
Mm-hmm.
also a regulation on that. No, it's not going to be a whole day school
Mm-hmm.
because there's a regulation also in terms of the number of hours that students have to be in school.
Okay.
So that's the
So,
reason why, in terms of a long-term plan,
mhm.
online learning really stays.
Okay.
Online learning really continues. Uh, for the
Relatedly, here's another question. Can students choose either to be online or on site? Who will
uh,
choose? Who will
it's
decide?
it's the modality is a combination
Okay.
of online and on site. It's a
Okay.
combination. So it's not going to be full online and
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be full uh, on site or face to face. So it's a combination of
Combination.
online
So
and
meaning to say, oh, sorry.
classroom instruction.
So meaning to say, Doc, if there are 20 students already in the classroom, the others will be online and they will still hold the classes simultaneously? Tama ba?
Uh, it's not the case in
It's not
our
the
plan.
case.
It's not the
Okay.
case. So there's a morning
Uh-huh.
session of one group of learners and an afternoon session of another group of learners.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're talking of our curriculum
Mm-hmm.
uh, implementation. There are competencies that will be delivered in school and
Okay.
competencies that can be delivered online. So
Okay.
that's how we are programming our learning
I see.
plans
Mm-hmm.
for the next school year. What I'm saying about this, Ma'am Ruth, is that there are really learning activities that need to be conducted in school. What are
Yeah.
these? These
Mm-hmm.
are what we call as rich learning experiences. The very
Mm-hmm.
best example is the laboratory
Mm-hmm.
activities because
Okay.
the facilities are in the school. So
Mm-hmm.
definitely, whenever these activities are done, they have to be in school. No?
Mm-hmm.
And so there are learning competencies also that can be delivered via our online learning management system or the online distance learning, in which we have been doing for the past 2 years. And this is one learning as well, to continue after
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic period. So
Okay.
this is how we are programming our
I see.
uh, learning plans and our curriculum for the next school year.
Okay. Here's another question. I don't know if he's your student. From Latrell Nathaniel Enriquez. Since you talked about St. Edward having a large amount of community engagement, how would you apply it in the upcoming face to face classes during the pandemic? As a grade 8 student, I feel that that is important in learning.
Wow, Latrell. Thanks for that question, Latrell. No, surely with with a lot of community engagement, the values education program, and then the values integration in all your lessons and in all of your subjects, there's going to be a lot of community engagement and call for your active participation in the
Okay.
community. No,
Okay.
there are lessons in math, there are lessons in social studies, there are lessons in English that your teachers have planned to have
Mm-hmm.
direct community engagement and direct community involvement. And I'm sure when that is being discussed in your classroom, take
Mm-hmm.
that opportunity, grab that opportunity that you'll be able to really exercise and volunteer
Uh-huh.
for your community. There's a lot of this
Mm-hmm.
given to you as an opportunity to take part in a lot of community engagements. That's a wonderful question, Latrell.
Okay. This might be our last question, Yan. Would you have plans to perk up the kids who are attending online classes? From Miss Net Muscat.
Yes, ma'am. We will be having school break programs to perk up your children to come to school
Mhm.
in time for the next school year. In fact, we've done this last year, no? While during school, while enjoying school break, we've been
Mhm.
conducting a lot of online programs. We called it
Mhm.
online school break program. We had a menu of activities from dancing to sketching to robotics to speech to writing. Uh, Ma'am Net, be assured that we will be releasing a lot of this information in time for our school break program for
Mhm.
your kid to be able to join a lot of online classes.
Okay, I think that will round up our discussion this morning. Before we go, Doc John, can you give us your final message, and or would you like to invite the possible enrollees to join the
Oh,
school?
wow. Sige. Thank you, Ma'am Ruth. Thank you again for giving us this space for St. Edward's School to uh, be on your program so that our parents, our community, both in Lancaster, in Imus, and even in nearby towns, no, and municipalities in Cavite, and even those coming from the National Capital Region,
Mhm.
for example, from Las Piñas, Pasay, no, Manila, would be able to know what St. Edward's School. And I'd like to invite our parents that St. Edward's School is a promising school.
Mhm.
We are a PASCO candidate school, and by being a PASCO candidate school,
Uh-huh.
that's an assurance that indeed we are we are meeting the standards of a well-run school and a quality school.
Mhm.
Get to know our school through our school website. There, you'll be able to read materials about
Yeah.
our vision, mission, our philosophy, and the student life of our learners here in St. Edward's School so that you'll be able to find out what our mission is in the community. We are offering the following programs from preschool to elementary to junior high school and the senior high school program. No?
Mhm.
Uh, we have our social media uh, you have our social media platforms, especially on Facebook, where you'd be able to see and read activities about our students and about our community here in Lancaster New City. Come and join us. That's all, I think.
Okay, thank you. With that, I'd like to say happy 10th anniversary again, Dr. John, to St. Edward's School, and have a pleasant day to everyone. Thank you
Thank you,
again,
ma'am.
and we'll see you again, hopefully after Holy Week.
Thank you,
Goodbye,
ma'am.
everyone. Thank
Have a
you,
blessed
Dr. John.
Sunday. Bye.
Bye bye. Thank you. Nako.
Ano date pa natin?
Ha?
Ano ba din date mo doon?
21.
Next week na yan.
Yan nga.
Pag-aano